Hi everyone. Let's start with class 7 geography chapter 2, that is inside our earth. In this chapter we want to discuss about the structure of earth. First one is the crust, mantle and core. Second one is the types of rocks, igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. Third one is rock cycle, and at last we need to discuss the minerals. All these things we can discuss in detail. First one is the structure of earth. The earth can be divided into three concentric layers. They are crust, mantle and core. In this picture we can see that inside the earth we can find three layers that shows in three different colors. The outer layer, that is called the crust, and the middle yellow, this area is called the mantle, and inside this circle or this area is called the core, where we can find the inner core and outer core. So about all these things we will discuss in the next slide. The next first structure, the first layer, that is the crust. The solid outermost layer, it is also known as the lithosphere. It covers thin, it is very thin with an average thickness of 35 km. The upper part of the continent crust is called shear. The lower part of the continent crust is called seam. So this is the outermost layer, the crust. The first one is the crust. First layer, that is thickness is very less. We already discussed that is only the average thickness is 35 km. As we compare to the mantle and core, it is very less. So the outer, it is also known as the first layer, the crust is also known as lithosphere or bhumandal. Then the upper part of the crust is called shear. The upper part of the crust is called shear, and the lower part is called the seam. The lower part that is near to the mantle, the lower part of the crust is called seam. The next is the mantle, that is the second layer of the earth. Below the crust lies the mantle. It expands up to the depth about 2900 km. The chief constituents are the silicate of iron and magnesium. The mantle has two parts, the upper part, upper mantle, and the lower mantle. So this is the second layer. This is the mantle, and it has two parts. First one is upper, that is upper mantle, and then lower, that is lower mantle. It extends up to the depth of 2900 kilometers, and the main constituents are silicate of iron and magnesium. Then the third one is the core, the innermost layer. It is about 3500 km thick. It is made of heavy metals like iron and nickel, and is called NiFe, N-I-F-E. Here the Ni stands for nickel and Fe stands for ferrum. That is the Latin word for iron. Then here the temperature at the core are high enough to melt all metals. So interior of the earth, that is called the core or inner core. So there the temperature is very high. Then we can find at the depth about 3500. It has the 3500 thickness. There the temperature is very high. That means it can melt all type of metals or all type of things. Then where we can find the heavy metals, it is made up of with the heavy metals like iron and nickel, and it is also called NiFe. Here the Ni stands for nickel and Fe stands for ferrum. The ferrum is the Latin word for iron. Then next we want to discuss about the types of rocks. The earth crust is made up of various types of rocks. Any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the earth crust is called rock. It can be of different color, size and texture. The outer layer of the earth is called the lithosphere, or the lithosphere. The word lithos means stone. So most of the outer space we can find in the stone, the different type of stones. It have in different color, texture and the size or color. Here itself we can find the 3 stones with the 3 texture and 3 color. The other 3 we can classify the rocks into 3 main headings. They are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. This one is igneous rocks, second one is sedimentary rocks and third one is the metamorphic rocks. About this we can discuss in the next slide. First one is the igneous rocks. Igneous, which means of fire. Deep below the earth's surface, rocks are in a melted state called magma. When magma cools and solidifies, it forms igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are found either on the surface of the earth, that is known as extrusive igneous rocks, and below it, intrusive igneous rocks. So here the word igneous means fire. So most of the igneous rocks inside the earth, we already discussed about the interior core. There we can find everything, or there we can find in a liquid state. There the temperature is very high. Everything will melt there. So inside the earth, the rocks are in a melted state called magma. Here we can see inside the earth we can find the rocks in the form of the melted form, that is called magma. And due to the volcanic eruption, this magma will comes out and forms, and when it cools down and when it solidifies, it forms the igneous rocks or igneous rocks. So there is 2 types of igneous rocks. When the magma comes out and when it forms the igneous rocks, that is called extrusive igneous rocks. Extrusive, that is outside the earth. Extrusive. Sometimes the magma will not come out of the surface, but within the crust itself, it will cool and it will form the igneous rocks. Such igneous rocks are called intrusive igneous rocks. The extrusive igneous rocks means extrusive igneous rocks cools quickly, and as a result these rocks are fine grained or has the lack of crustal growth. So the magma will comes outside, and when it comes out and cools, it forms as the extrusive igneous rocks. Sometimes the magma will cool inside the earth itself and it forms the intrusive igneous rocks. The second type of rock is called the sedimentary rocks. The running water, moving ice carry small particles of rock. The rock particles are deposited on the land or the beds of ocean or river. It is called sediments. The loose sediments are then compressed and hardened to form the layers of rock. It's called sedimentary rocks. So first we discussed about the igneous rocks. That is very hard. Due to the weathering process, the igneous rocks will break down into small pieces. That is called the sediments. So due to with the help of natural forces like the moving water or wind or moving ice, these sediments or the small pieces, they will deposit somewhere, and after a long time these sediments, the small pieces, that will change into the rock. That is called the sedimentary rocks. Then sometimes we can find the natural fossil, the remains of animals or plants within these sedimentary rocks. The sedimentary rocks are formed in layer by layer. Then next we want to discuss about the metamorphic rocks. The word metamorphosis means the change of form. The metamorphic rocks are actually igneous or sedimentary rocks which have been changed due to the excessive heat and pressure inside the earth. So the third type of rocks are the metamorphic rocks, actually they are the sedimentary rocks or the igneous rocks. If you are giving more pressure or heat to the sedimentary or the igneous rocks, it will change into the metamorphic rocks. So here we can find the slate, the quartzites or marbles are the examples of the metamorphic rocks. The next one is a rock cycle. Rocks undergo a cycle of transformation called the rock cycle. The hot melted magma forms the igneous rocks on cooling. The breaking down of the different type of rocks produces sediments to form from which sedimentary rocks are formed. Extreme heat and pressure may cause igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks to form metamorphic rocks. When rocks are melted by heat, new magma is formed. So here we already discussed how the formation of igneous rocks. The magma, when it comes out, it will form the igneous rocks. The igneous rocks, due to the weathering process, it will break down into small pieces, that is called sediments, and these sediments, if you are giving more pressure or heat to the sediments, it will form into the sedimentary rocks. And when we are giving more heat or pressure to the igneous rocks or the sedimentary rocks, it will change into the metamorphic rocks. Then, when the rocks are melted by heat, when all the metamorphic or sedimentary or igneous rocks, if you are giving more heat, it will melt and again it will join with the magma and it will continue. The magma will change into the igneous rocks will change into the sedimentary rocks, and sedimentary rocks will change into the metamorphic rocks, and these rocks again, it will, if you are giving more heat, it will melt and it will join with the magma. So it is a continuous process. This continuous or cyclic process is called rock cycle. Then the next we want to discuss, we can see a graphical representation. Here the magma will come out and forms the igneous rocks, and the rocks will break down into small pieces, and the sediments, it will change into the sedimentary rocks, and the sedimentary rocks, if you are giving more heat or pressure to the igneous rocks or sedimentary rocks, it will change into the metamorphic rocks, and if you are giving more heat to the metamorphic rocks, it will change into the magma, and the magma again, it will change into the igneous rock. It is a continuous or the cyclic process. This cyclic process of changing the form of one rock to the another is called rock cycle. Next we want to discuss about the minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring substances which have certain physical properties and definite chemical composition. All naturally occurring or naturally occurring things which may have a definite chemical composition, all such things are called minerals. In our daily life, we are using or we are utilizing different type of minerals. For example, the petroleum, gold or iron ore. In our daily life, even we are using different type of minerals such as petroleum, kerosene, then salt. So all such things have a definite chemical composition. It occurring naturally. All natural occur things which may have a definite chemical composition. All such things are called minerals. Then that's all. Thank you.